Good morning. Welcome to our routine weekly briefing for Central NC on this Thursday, July 24th. Covers through next Wednesday, July 30th. The upcoming weather pattern for Central NC. So it's going to be, I can generally sum it up in one word, hot. It's going to be very hot through much of the next 7 days, but today and tonight we have a lingering frontal boundary along the coast, and it'll slightly shift inland this afternoon with the sea breeze, and that could produce a couple isolated to scattered storms. And then Friday, we have this huge, Friday through much of next week, we have this huge ridge building over us and kind of slightly shifting westward. So that's going to bring hot and humid conditions and isolated afternoons, thunderstorms possible south of US 164 on Friday, and then very isolated storms Saturday and Sunday. And with Saturday and Sunday, those are going to be expected to be the start of the warmest days or the hottest days, but those are going to be expected to be the hottest days with hot and humid conditions. Saturday temperatures will be in the upper 90s to low 100s with heat indices ranging from 105 to 110. We might have an extreme heat warning possible, or we might have an extreme heat warning product out for much of central North Carolina on Saturday and well into Sunday as well, because it's pretty much copy and paste Saturday and Sunday. We do have some isolated storms possible, especially in the eastern North Carolina region Sunday, but again, very, very isolated nature. Monday, that high pressure is over us, and the heat will continue Monday, Tuesday, and into Wednesday with temperatures in the mid to upper 90s and areas in the low 100s. Again, these heat indices are going to be in the low 100s with heat products probably out through much of next week. So we need to make sure everyone stays very hydrated over the weekend and into next week. With that, no severe thunderstorm threat. However, we do have isolated thunderstorms possible with, just regular lightning and flooding, limited flooding threats. Here is our rainfall amount. So as you can see, a lot of white on these maps. So that means little rainfall, unless you're along the coast. But generally, it's going to be very dry today and Friday and Saturday and Sunday and into Monday. You can see, again, there's little bits of green here and there, but that's very isolated impacts. WPC does have a marginal risk for isolated flash flooding possible, generally in Cumberland, Sampson, and Wayne County for those afternoon storms possible today. But other than that, the chance for rain is very limited. So I guess the chance for excessive rainfall is also very, very limited to none. So again, hitting this heat risk hard. Here's the experimental heat risk for days 1 through 3. So today, Friday, and Saturday. As you can see, today's not going to be too bad. We're in the minor to moderate categories for today, and then Friday and Saturday we're in that major category with portions or pockets of extreme category anywhere in the Triangle and Sandhill areas. And then Sunday onward, you'll also see those pockets of extreme heat risk possible. And again, if you want to check out, we have multiple days of this. You can go to wpc.ncep.no.gov/heat risk, and it has multiple days of heat risk for you guys to all see, and a lot of information there. Again, we like to bring this up. Heat advisory means heat index values are expected to be anywhere from 105 to 109. That's when we put out that heat advisory. And then the extreme heat warning is when the dangerous heat is happening or about to happen, and that's when heat index values are 110 or greater, which we are expecting in portions of central North Carolina Saturday, Sunday, and possibly Monday. With all the heat, there is something in the Gulf, nothing to be too worried about. It is expected to go westward, just a trough of low pressure over the northern central Gulf coastal area. They have a 10% chance across the next 48 hours as well as the next 7 days. So nothing really to worry about unless you're going fishing in the Gulf, but nothing to worry about for central North Carolina. The drought, the North Carolina drought update is updated. It was updated a few days ago. So the main key takeaway is abnormally dry conditions have expanded slightly across the southern Piedmont, north and west of Charlotte, reflecting any dry weather over the past month. As you can see, last week's drought status had a little bit area near that Charlotte area, but it has expanded just a tad in that southwest North Carolina region. 8 to 14-day temperature and precipitation outlook covering July 31st to August 6th. You do see some blue on the map for the temperature outlook. So we have a 30 to 40% chance for below normal temperatures. Remember, our temperatures are generally anywhere from the upper 80s to low 90s. So we're expected to see below normal temperatures for those pretty much the first week of August. And then the precip outlook, we will see a 30 to 50% chance above normal for precipitation. Here is our experimental graphical hazardous weather outlook. Just a quick show of the lightning that's very isolated with those storms throughout the week, those afternoon storms, that's going to be expanded. The excessive rainfall in the far southeast for today, and the extreme heat threat is limited for today. And then you can see it goes from to red, generally red tomorrow, and then extreme Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And it's not just pockets. These are large areas of extreme heat possible. Here is our weather summary. So pretty much, like I said, hot and humid Friday through much of next week. Temperatures expected to be in the upper 90s to low 100s Saturday through at least Wednesday. Multiple days of heat indices will be expected to be 105 to 111. Heat advisory will be likely for much of central North Carolina starting tomorrow, and portions of the central North Carolina area will be upgraded to possibly an extreme heat warning, seeing how the heat reflects. And limited hazards and impacts, we have that marginal risk for isolated flash flooding, and then pockets of that extreme heat possible. Thank you so much for joining us today on Thursday, and we will see you guys all on Wednesday. You guys